This conference will now be recorded.
Bani, no, there is going to be nothing very specific about
This conference will now be recorded.
great. So, hi everyone. I believe that all of you who are attending this session, you are appearing for IPM 2020 IIM Indore examination. We are just going to talk about it. As you know, the exam is just 8 to 9 days away, and again, the pattern has changed for IIM Indore IPM, considering the outcome of COVID and all. So we'll just quickly have an overview of the examination pattern, what all things you need to keep in mind while attempting the paper, and what all areas you should be focusing on in next 8 to 9 days. Also, I would like to share that we will provide you two mock tests of this new pattern by Tuesday evening, that is 1st of September evening. We will provide you two mock tests of IIM Indore new pattern, which has been just released, so that you can practice through two mock tests as well. That's what something which is going to be provided to you. Now, I'm pretty sure that all of you are aware of this new pattern of the examination, where you are going to have 20 questions from Quant MCQ, 10 questions from non-MCQ Quant, and 30 questions from verbal. All the three sections will have 30 minutes each. Every question is of 4 marks, and there is going to be a negative marking of 1 mark for Quant MCQ and verbal MCQ. The subjective section of Quant is not going to have any negative marking. I'm pretty sure you all are aware of this. Now, few things to keep in mind over here is, first of all, you will not be allowed to select that which section to attempt first, which section to attempt second. And also, this pattern which they have provided in the PDF on their website is not the reflection of what is going to be the sequence of sections in the actual examination. Uh, traditionally, how IIMs have done it for cat and all, they typically put verbal first, and then they put up the Quant part. So ideally, my prediction is the first section which you may have to attempt in the paper could be verbal, which is followed by Quant MCQ, which is followed by Quant subjective. Again, this is just my prediction for the exam. However, having said this, it does not matter which section is coming first, which section is coming second, because you are going to get 30 minutes for each section, and you cannot come back to a section. So it's in the best interest that you give your entire 30 minutes to that particular section. Also, there is no point in completing the exam first, or doing anything on those lines. So use full 90 minutes, use full 30 minutes for each section, and don't leave a section before its time is expired. So that's something which you should definitely keep in mind. Another thing is, which as per their selection process, they have told that this is how they are going to calculate your aptitude test score. And based on this, the calls for the video assessment round will be given. So one thing to keep in mind over here is, there is no overall cutoff as such. However, whatever sectional cutoffs will be there, and once their sum is done, they will definitely arrive at some overall cutoff, but they have not mentioned explicitly in in the examination pattern PDF. But you should remember that there is going to be a sectional cutoff for every section. Typically you should be scoring uh, say 20 to 30% marks in every section to clear its sectional cutoff. As per the historic trends of IIM Indore examination are concerned, 30% will be your sectional cutoff for the MCQ section, and for the subjective section, typically it will be around 20%. So if I go by that, I could say that around 40 marks will be a safe score in verbal, around your around 30 marks will be a safe score in Quant MCQ, and around say 10 marks will be a safe score in the subjective Quant section. So you should be targeting at least 40 in verbal, at least 30 in Quant MCQ, at least 10 in Quant subjective, which takes the total to 80 marks. However, since the exam is of 240, expect that the overall cutoff will be somewhere in the range of 90 to 100 marks. So try to get to a score of 100 plus to be able to clear the cutoffs overall as well, and 40 at least in verbal, 30 at least in Quant MCQ, 10 at least in Quant essay, and overall 90 to 100 marks. 100 plus is going to be a safe score for you to help you land the calls in an ideal scenario. Any questions so far? Right. Okay. Now, also one thing to remember over here is you are getting 30 questions in 30 minutes for verbal, which means that verbal is going to be majorly dominated by reading comprehension and vocabulary questions. There will be around 8 to 12 questions of RCs. Expect them to be traditionally around 12 questions of RC, and out of remaining 18, at least 14 to 15 questions will be of vocabulary, which means that you need to be very quick with your vocabulary answers. And in vocabulary, you either know the answer or you don't know the answer. So do ensure that you do not lose marks in negative marking when it comes to vocabulary part of verbal. Please ensure to not mark guesses. Please ensure not to lose your marks in negative marking when it comes to verbal section for vocabulary questions. Only mark the answer when you are super confident of. In the subjective answer, as asked by Yash, you are supposed to write only the final answer. So if after all the calculations your answer is coming as say 180, you will only type 180 in the answer. So you need to type your final answer in the given space. And similarly in Quant MCQ, please do not lose marks in negative marking. For both the MCQ sections, please ensure that you are not losing marks in negative marking. There is going to be no non-MCQ section in verbal. Khyati, this time in IPM exam, you are not going to get non-MCQ questions for verbal. And if you ever get non-MCQ questions in any exam for any section, it's not going to have negative marking. So don't worry on that front. The Quant subjective answers, they are not going to have negative marking. Verbal section is not going to have any subjective section. Only MCQ will be there from verbal. And from Quant, you will find both MCQ and subjective. And the Quant section of IIM Indore, it also includes DI within itself. So out of 20 questions of Quant MCQs, expect around 4 to 5 questions from DI, remaining from Quant. In the subjective answers section, you will mostly have the pure Quant part only. So that's going to be there. Right, so please ensure that you are not losing negative marking in vocabulary based questions of verbal, because that's something which is going to hurt you a lot. In the final selection, we all know that 85% weightage is for your aptitude test score, 15% weightage is for your video based assessment. Now a good thing here is for the remaining 15%, that once you get the call, we will help to ensure that out of those 15%, you are all of you are getting the maximum possible marks. Because IIM Indore, what they have done is you would, once the shortlisting is out based on the aptitude test score, you will have to record a video and submit it to them. There is going to be no interview in IIM Indore. There is going to be no extempore in IIM Indore like IIM Rohtak. If for IIM Indore, we need to submit a pre-recorded video for which they will send you certain questions. You need to record the answer and send the video to them. And we will be there to help you out with the video recording. We will be there to help you out with how your video is coming out, how your answers are coming out. And those traditionally will be very HR based questions, where they will be focusing on knowing about you as a person and knowing about your objective of doing IPM, etc., etc. So those are going to be very easy questions. You don't need to worry. We will ensure that all of you who are preparing with us are able to get the maximum possible score in the video based assessment. and for the just get us the call from aptitude test score. And that's why I'm saying, please do not lose out marks in negative. You get the call, we will ensure that you convert IIM Indore. Because of this video based assessment, we can ensure that your video which you are going to submit to Indore has the best answers and has the best expressions of yours while recording the video. So please just get us the call and we'll ensure that you convert it. Now, coming to the verbal part, once again, I am emphasizing, please focus on reading comprehension and vocabulary in the remaining days. Don't spend your time on parajumbles and all. You will hardly get 2 or 3 questions in the exam, which you can skip if you are not already strong with parajumbles. So in the remaining days, do not focus on parajumbles. If you have been weak so far with them, focus on RC and vocabulary as much as you can. In the cont section, focus on geometry, algebra, and DI. And if any one of you is still slightly uncomfortable with number system, please see you can revise basic things like factorials and remainder theorem, and the last digit and the last 2 digits and the number of zeros. These 5 concepts, just revise these 5 concepts from number system. They may ask you questions around it, around these concepts only in both MCQ and the non-MCQ section. So out of 10 questions in non-MCQ, you can expect around 2 questions from number system, which will majorly be from these areas. I'll just type it once for you. So as I said, no, the first topic, if you are say revising a number system, don't revise the entire concept of number system. Just topics like remainder theorem, topics like factorial, last digit, last 2 digits, and number of zeros. These are the only 5 things which you definitely should revise during last few days, and ensure that you are able to get them correct in the examination from numbers. Rest, geometry, algebra, and DI, you can there is no need to waste your time on matrices. It will hardly have any questions in the exam, which you can even if they come, you can leave them. So don't worry about matrices at this particular point of time. There is no, matrices is not a make or break for the examination. Focus on these topics. And when I say algebra, I refer to quadratic equations, I refer to functions and graphs, I refer to inequalities, I refer to linear equations. Yes, definitely arithmetic. Yes, out of 20 questions in the MCQ, expect around 5 to 6 questions from arithmetic. And in the non-MCQ section, again, around 2 questions from arithmetic is what you will definitely get in the paper. My point is, arithmetic, I am hoping that most of you would have already prepared and would be strong with it. Geometry, algebra, DI definitely needs revision. And on the number system side, I have already told you 4 concepts which you need to revise. And once again, please don't give away marks in negative. Subjective QA section, try to attempt it entirely, because there is no negative marking. Do not leave a question when 5 minutes are left in the paper. Try to take any guesses if possible. No, because subjective question, whatever you will gain in the subjective section, that will be a bonus to you, even if say you go for a guessing. So take your guesses only in the subjective QA section. Don't go for any guess in the MCQ section. Please do not lose out marks in negative marking. In verbal, don't study parajumbles now. Focus on RCs and vocabulary. For the cont section, geometry, algebra, DI, and the 4 concepts of number system which I told you. Only and only if say you are weak in arithmetic, then probably you can revise profit and loss, time, speed, distance, time and work. But otherwise, focus on geometry, algebra, DI to be able to maximize your score in the examination. Any questions, anyone, any doubts at this point of time? We are going to give you 2 mock tests by 1st of September evening. You can attempt them. You can take 1 mock test on 2nd and 1 mock test on 4th, or 1 mock test on 2nd and 1 mock test on 5th. That's how you can plan. We will give you 2 mock tests. So that was all with what I had to share with you. And once again, I wish all of you, good luck for the examination. Go ace it, get the call, and we will ensure that you convert it. Any questions? I'll answer any of your questions if you have. Khyati, Yash, Purvai, Anushka, Meika, Astha, Vijayashri, Anmol. Any questions any one of you have, please feel free to ask. Great. So I believe, sir, what will be the sectional cutoff for reservation categories? So Rishika, that's something which is difficult to predict. But typically, if I'm telling you that, say, out of in the verbal section, if I say that 40 marks are going to be the cutoff for the general section, general category, you can assume that for EWS this cutoff will be around 36, 37. For OBC this will be around 32, 33, and for SC it will come around 20 marks. So that's how typically the cutoffs vary. If whatever is the cutoff for general category, EWS will have around 95% of it, OBC will have around 85 to 90% of it, and SC will have around 50% of it. So that's how the category wise sectional cutoffs will come into picture. Okay, Rishika, any more doubts? Anyone? Any more questions? Purvai, RCs, attempt all the RC topic tests, whatever are left in your course, attempt all of them, and then again in the 2 mock tests you will be getting the RCs. Right now just get hold of any book or any test which is left in your course and just go and practice RCs from there. Yes, there are no take care points for exam center except the fact that please try to reach before time. Don't try to be just reaching on the time. So suppose, say, whatever your reporting time is there, try to reach around say half an hour before your reporting time to the center, and don't get into some exhaustive or some very intense revision on the exam day. Don't do that. Keep yourself relaxed, keep yourself chilled out, and keep your mind in a very comfortable zone so that you are not over stressing it and are able to give your 100% on once you enter the examination center and you start your paper. Vijaya, I'm expecting that there will be around 3 RCs which will come in the exam with 4 questions each. I'm expecting 12 questions from RCs. Three RCs, 3 into 4, 3 RCs with 4 questions each. Each is what I'm expecting in the paper. Anmol, IPM is a no-brainer. I don't know anyone who's going to leave IPM for DUJAT unless you are very confident that you will not get selected in IPM. Rishika, as I shared, for quant important topics are geometry, algebra, and DI. So within geometry, please focus a lot on circles, parallelogram, and trapezium. In algebra, you have quadratic equations, you have functions and graphs, and you have inequalities. And then within number system, as I said, focus on remainder theorem, focus on factorials, focus on last digit, focus on last 2 digits, and focus on number of zeros. Those 5 kind of questions for number system. Asta, for vocabulary, there is a vocabulary ebook in your course. Plus, first complete that. Once you have done that, then just Google GRE Baron High Frequency World List PDF. Go through that first. World Power Made Easy is going to give you very less returns in the examination, so it's not something which I recommend strongly. So I will rather suggest that go through the vocabulary ebook plus go through the GRE High Frequency World List. Those 2 things are going to help you a lot. Mega, I don't think that they are giving you a lot of time per question, except in the subjective answer section, where there is 3 minutes per question. If you will see in verbal, you just have 1 minute per question. So even if say, and RC questions are going to take more than 1 minute to solve them. So vocabulary questions you need to attempt in 30 seconds each for vocabulary based questions. Subjective could be relatively tough, like always. Every year you will find that the subjective quant section was the toughest one. That's where its cutoff is typically very less. So that's why I said that 8 to 10 marks should be sufficient for you to clear the cutoff for the non-MCQ part of quant. Okay, any more doubts, anyone? No, Arushi, please don't do that. Not required, Arushi. Okay, any more questions, anyone? Yes, there is no definite length. Typically RCs will be of around say 300 words. Expect them to be anywhere between 250 to 350 on an average. 300 could be the average word limit. They will not be very short RCs. They are not going to give you 100 or 200 words. No, 250 to 300 is definitely what you will be getting. Great. Thank you everyone. Wish all of you good luck. Two mock tests will be provided by us, and you can practice them. In meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you all have my WhatsApp number. I'm just a message away. Feel free to message me or feel free to ask your doubt in the group. I'll be there to help you out. Okay, great. So all the best, and let's go and ace the examination on the day, and then go ahead and convert the call. Great. Thank you everyone. Thank you and good night.